Hello, welcome to Turkey for Foreigners. In this presentation, you can find brief information about the Blue Mosque of Turkey. The Blue Mosque is an historical mosque located in the historical peninsula of Istanbul. It can easily be accessed by rail network from airport and most parts of Istanbul. Although the Turkish name of the mosque is Sultanahmet, the mosque is popularly known as the Blue Mosque for the blue tiles surrounding the walls of interior design. The mosque was built between 1609 and 1616 years, during the rule of Ahmet I. After the peace of Zivotvoruk and the result of the war with Persia, Sultanahmet I decided to build a big mosque in Istanbul to reassert the Ottoman power. It would be the first imperial mosque for more than 40 years. While his predecessors had paid for their mosques with their spoil of war, Ahmet I had to remove the funds of the treasury because he had not gained remarkable victories. Construction work began in 1609 when Sultanahmet I was only 19 years old. It was built near the Hagia Sophia, over the site of the ancient hippodrome and Byzantine imperial palace, whose mosaics can be seen in the nearby Mosaic Museum. Sultanahmet was so anxious for his magnificent creation to be completed that he often assisted in the work. Sadly, he died just a year after the completion of his masterpiece, at the age of 27. He is buried outside the mosque with his wife and 3 sons. Blue Mosque was constructed by architect Sedefkar Mehmet Ağa. The architect was a student of Sinan, who is the greatest architect of classical Turkish architecture. Sedefkar Mehmet Ağa applied a plan used previously by his master, but on a larger scale. The architect synthesized the ideas of his master Sinan, aiming for overwhelming size, majesty, and splendor. The Sultanahmet Mosque gives a great view from Marmara Sea with its 1 main dome, 6 minarets, and 8 secondary domes. The design is the culmination of 2 centuries of Ottoman mosque development. It incorporates some Byzantine Christian elements of the neighboring Hagia Sophia with traditional Islamic architecture and is considered to be the last great mosque of the classical period. Just like many other mosques, it also comprises a tomb of the founder, a madrasa, and a hospice. The Sultanahmet Mosque is first one of the 2 mosques in Turkey that has 6 minarets. The minarets of the mosque are classical examples of Turkish architecture. The balconies are reached by spiral stairs. 5 times a day the believers are called to prayer, in our day using loudspeakers. 4 minarets stand at the corners of the Blue Mosque. Each of these fluted pencil-shaped minarets has 3 balconies called sherefe, with stalactite corbels, while the 2 others at the end of the forecourt only have 2 balconies. When the number of minarets was revealed, the Sultan was criticized for being presumptuous, since this was the same minaret number as at the Mosque of the Kaaba in Mecca. He overcame this problem by ordering a 7th minaret to be built at the Mecca Mosque. At Blue Mosque lower levels, the interior of the mosque is lined with more than 20,000 handmade ceramic tiles. The tiles were made at Iznik city, historically known as Nice, in more than 50 different tulip designs. The upper levels of the mosque interior is dominated by blue paint and decorations included verses from the Quran, many of them made by Sayyid Qasim Gubari, who is regarded as the greatest calligrapher of his time. On the chandeliers, ostrich eggs are found that were meant to avoid cobwebs inside the mosque by repelling spiders. More than 200 stained glass windows with intricate designs admit natural light. The floors are covered with carpets, which is donated by faithful people and are regularly replaced as they wear out. The most important element of the mosque interior is the mihrab, which is made of finely carved and sculptured marble, with a stalactite niche and a double inscriptive panel above it. Blue Mosque has the biggest courtyard of all the Ottoman mosques. The court is about as large as the mosque itself and is surrounded by a continuous vaulted arcade. The central hexagonal fountain is rather small in contrast with the dimensions of the courtyard. The monumental but narrow gateway to the courtyard stands out architecturally from the arcade. Its semi-dome has a fine stalactite structure crowned by a small ribbed dome. A heavy iron chain hangs in the upper part of the court entrance on the western side. Only the Sultan was allowed to enter the court of the mosque on horseback. The chain was put there so that the Sultan had to lower his head every time he entered the court to avoid being hit. This was a symbolic gesture to ensure the humility of the ruler in the face of the divine. Besides still used as a mosque, the Sultanahmet Mosque has also become a popular tourist attraction in Istanbul. Every day, thousands of people from all over the world visit Blue Mosque. Many important and famous people like Pope Francis and Barack Obama have visited this masterpiece of Turkey. The mosque is closed to non-worshippers for half an hour during the 5 daily prayers. During Ramadan, many events are organized outside the Blue Mosque. The area becomes an attraction center for all Muslims and also for tourists. Many restaurants are located around Blue Mosque. Historic Sultanahmet meatballs would be a good alternative for food. See you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe us.